Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Melleny. If you'd like to get to know me a little better, all my social media links are always linked down below in the description bar. Be sure to click on them to get to know me a little bit better. Today I'm so very excited. I have been watching Codie from Codie's Book Corner's Wheel of TBR videos for so long. In fact, I almost spent an entire day the other day watching her videos. I have been inspired to do it because I'm having the toughest time choosing books to read for the month. My TBRs are always, I don't know, last minute, rushed. I'm unsure of what I want to read, and I actually don't end up reading some of them because I don't know, I never know what to pick because there are so many great books on my unread shelf at the moment that I don't know how to go about picking them. But I've been watching Codie's Book Corner for a while now, and I absolutely love her idea. I also really like Becca's. I'll leave both their channels down below in the description bar for you to also check that out if you're interested. But Becca does like a bookopoly, which is pretty great, except that's a lot of work for me, and I want to go that extreme. These are called TBR games, and as I mentioned, I got inspiration and I pretty much did the exact same thing as what Codie did. So as always, whenever I have a TBR video like this, I will be sure to link her channel and her playlist for her Wheel of TBR videos down below in the description bar because it is her original idea. So like, all credit goes to her. I am so excited for this. I've been preparing this for the past like 4 days. I've been working on this like non-stop, and I'm so excited that I finally finished it. I'm so happy. There are still some small things I'd like to do to change along the way, but obviously if that happens, I will let you know if there's been a change. So as you can see, my wheel is empty as of right now. There are 12 colors. I don't really read 12 books in a month. I have quite a few big books, so I'm not going to be doing 12 spins. I'm not going to go crazy, and it's also the middle of the month, so this is a late February TBR. I did already choose a February TBR, and I filmed a video for that, but I was like, no, we're going to do something new. This is going to be the little test. This is going to help me see what I can improve on and how I can do things. So please bear with me and leave any suggestions down below in the comment section if there are any prompts that you would like to see and you would like to see me attempt. This is my stack of prompts. The circles are much smaller, and I've gone quite digital with them by typing them out and getting little perfect circles, which I did not cut perfectly. I do intend to laminate these, but I was so sick and tired of cutting circles that I was like, it's gonna have to wait a hot minute or two. As I mentioned, I did have a TBR picked, but we're scrapping that straight away. There are some books that I have to read, such as uni books and some books which were sent to me by publishers with a deadline, so those will of course must read for the month. But these spins, I'm going to be doing 4 spins for today. Maybe I'll do more, but right now I'm looking at about 4 spins, so it's 4 books for the rest of the month, excluding the ones I have to read. And for that, I'm going to be choosing out the prompts, and I'm so excited. So these are going to be in random order. I will be leaving, much like Codie, I will be leaving whatever prompts remain, and every time a prompt has been chosen, it will come off of the wheel and I'll randomly select another one to go. Some of them require me to have a Goodreads shelf, which I have not yet done, so this is going to be part of the learning experience. Others will require me to do random number generators and so on. Obviously, I don't know if this wheel is weighted correctly, but we're going to see how it all goes. So let's choose the first prompt. I will also be explaining each prompt as I get to them because some of these are my own and they will need maybe some explanation. For the first one, I have favorite author. So I have a couple of favorite authors. This might mean I need to reread a book, or it might mean that I should read one of those that I haven't yet read. I have quite a few of some of my favorite authors who I haven't finished their collections, their written work so far, so this is going to be pretty great. So that is our first prompt. The next one, I'm just going to shuffle these. Another thing that I have noticed is that there are quite a few prompts that continuously showed up in Codie's videos. I have decided that should a prompt show up as often as what they do in Codie's videos, I'll be swapping them out, taking them out of the deck for a bit before putting them back in, just because if they do come up a lot, I want to have some diversity in my prompts as well as in the books I read. The next one is series. So this means I'll either pick up a new series or continue a series I already have. Much like Codie, I also had a lot of problems with finishing the series. I have not yet finished the Throne of Glass series, the Nevernight Chronicles. I haven't even started the Stormlight Archives, but the Mistborn series I haven't even finished yet. I've only read the first book. So there are a lot of like unfinished and unread series on my shelves. I'm a huge series reader, so this is going to be a great prompt to get me through it. We're now gonna choose the next prompt. I'm just gonna shuffle these up a bit. So the next one is a new release. There are a couple of new releases on my shelves that I have not yet gotten to, either because I'm still busy with a lot of backlist books, or it's because I'm just terrible at reading new things. I'm gonna be honest. On to the next prompt, which is most owned author. I have a couple of authors who I have multiple books of. I'm pretty sure Sanderson is my most owned, so that would be a great way to get me started on his series because I have so many of his books on my shelves. I will also start making a comprehensive list of actually how many books from the same author I have. That's going to take me a bit of a hot minute, but I'm definitely keen to do such a thing just because I think it will be interesting to see what are my most owned authors, and so I can, you know, make some progress in their books apparently if I have all of their books on my unread shelf. We are now a third of the way through with the prompt selection. We still have quite a long way to go before we get to choosing. So the next one is smut. So I also have something called romance in here, but there's a difference. Romance, I'm looking more towards like the chick lit books, which are not too steamy, whereas the smut books, are we looking at like J.R. Ward, those kinds of people who are writing those really raunchy, if you will, sex scenes. So that is what I'm counting as smut. I actually just realized I have like a million J.R. Ward books because I got her entire Black Dagger Brotherhood. I got all of that, basically, all of the vampire series. The next prompt we have is read in a day. So this is one that I created myself, which basically means I'll be picking a book and I have to read it in a single day. I'll probably end up doing a vlog for this just because I think it might be interesting. So I think the one criteria is it can't be less than 200 pages because then it's just like a short read and it doesn't really count for much. So it has to be about 250 pages or more. A book that it will take me like a minute or two to read in a day and not just like a quick 2-hour session or something. So that is what I intend for this. The next prompt is a standalone. Obviously that's very self-explanatory. The next one is a hyped book. So this could obviously be any book that's gotten a lot of buzz lately. It could also be a book that's just really popular or has been very popular previously. It doesn't have to be currently hyped, because I have quite a few books on here that I've either purchased or requested / received because they're quite well known and quite hyped up by the book community. So I'm really excited for this. I already have an idea if this gets chosen what I would pick because it's a book that I need to read at this point. We are almost there. We are basically in the last stretch. The next prompt here is the highest rated. I technically do not know what this is, so I hope it doesn't get picked. Otherwise, I'm just going to randomly go on a shelf on my to be read shelf on Goodreads, which is not actually complete, and just choose a book that's highest rated there. And I have a feeling if I put Oathbringer on there, I'm not going to be able to read that, so I'll have to go for the next one. It has to be a book that I can actually read. So like with Oathbringer, it's the third book in the Stormlight Archive series, I believe, and I haven't even finished that series or finished the Mistborn series to get to that one. So what that would then mean is that I would then read either the next highest rated if I have it, or it will be one of the Mistborn books so that I can make my way to Oathbringer, for example. The next one is a self-help book. I have a lot of self-help books or just like general non-fiction helping books with advice and stuff in it, so that would go with this. For example, I have on my, what I had originally on my TBR was Girl Stop Apologizing, so if this comes up I would probably end up choosing that one. The next is Treat Yourself, which basically means that I would purchase a book, any book that I want, and then I'd have to read it in that month. So that way, by buying it and reading in the same month, I'm not really contributing to my TBR, I'm just contributing to my shelf. We are on the last prompt before we go ahead and do the 4 spins to see what the next couple of books are for my TBR for February. I'm so excited for what this would mean for March, just because I think this is such a fun, innovative way to get through your books that you wouldn't typically remember, because these prompts are so specific but also broad enough that you can pick like any book. The last prompt is big book. If you've watched Codie's Wheel of TBR, big book comes up like every single month, and I'm hoping that this doesn't happen to me. A big book is a book that's over 500 pages, of which I have many. There are a couple that are just under 500, and I'm gonna count them should it come to that, but it's typically 500 pages or more. Okay, now that we are officially ready to spin the wheel, I want to quickly go over a couple of rules, much like with Codie. As I mentioned, if this lands on a prompt and I finally choose a book, it will come off and go back into the stack to be chosen again at a later point in time. Hopefully not again, because that would be counterproductive. And then much like Codie, she says that if the arrow lands in the same color 3 times, which is very unlikely, is a possibility, I will then have to do an extra spin for the month, which means it's an extra book, so I will be doing that as well. Also, much like her, she does this thing where at the end of every month she'll see how many books she's read out of the prompts, and if she has, like, for example, 2 books that she has not yet read, she'll save one and unhaul one. I have quite a lot of books, and sometimes depending on the month it can get a little bit busy for me just because of uni and the amount of books that I have to read. So I have decided if I have, for example, 3 books, I'm allowed 2 saves. So that is something that I will do, is I'm gonna allow myself 2 saves per month to save a book. Obviously that would then mean I have to read it in the next month, so it has to be part of that TBR. This does not include books that I'm currently reading at that point in time, because often the month ends and I'm halfway through a book. So if I'm currently reading the book, it doesn't need to be saved, it's already into the following month's TBR. However, if I have read everything except for 3 books and I don't have any currently reading, I will get to save 2 of the 3 books which I have not yet read. Just as like a little bit of an example, I will always have 2 saves just because of how fluctuant my reading may be. I'm still deciding on how many spins I'll actually do per month. We'll get to that. I'm still currently seeing how many books I'm reading at the moment in the first 2 months to determine how the rest of the year will go. But yeah, let's get to spinning. I might be changing the filming location for this just because I might be getting another set of shelves which will go in my kitchen, and I feel like this will look really good in the kitchen. Once again, if you have any prompts that you would like to see, let me know down below. I'm always open to adding more, and let's get to spinning. As I mentioned, I'm doing 4 spins. I'm so excited. So it landed on Hyped Book, which means that I'll finally be picking up The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the 2nd book in the Folk of Air. This obviously follows Jude and Carden after the 1st book, which is The Cruel Prince, if you didn't know that this was the sequel to that. And I was not the biggest fan of The Cruel Prince, but I also did not hate it. But I recently got Queen of Nothing, which means I do need to read this, so now is the perfect opportunity to do so. So I've taken Hyped Book off, and for the next prompt to go in pale yellow is what we're gonna call it. It's going to be a 1-word title. This landed in series, so this means I can either start a series or I can continue with a series, and because I'm already currently having to read a book, I'm going to include it. So for the prompt series, I am choosing The Chosen, which is the 1st book in the Contender series by Taran Mataru. I have just started this. I've been just starting this for a while now, but I will be reading this to fit that prompt, and this means I can actually read it. We're gonna pick another prompt. There are some in here which require interaction with other people. I've included for my dad to pick a book for me to read, my mom, my friend, my cat, and my other cat, which is not my cat, but kind of is. So there's like something called a Barney's pick and a Holly's pick, which I'll just be letting, if you haven't watched, it's like pet pick, but it's a little bit more specific just because Barney's here more, and I don't know if Holly will actually do it, so we'll see. The next prompt that will go in there is nonfiction. Even though I have self-help, there are other things in here that are also nonfiction, such as Corrupt Bodies, which I recently received, which is about corrupt practices in the pathology part of the UK. So this is going to be interesting. We have 2 more spins to go. Okay, this is the 2nd time that purple has come up, and it's chosen nonfiction. For that, I will be reading Corrupt Bodies just because I am very interested in this right now. It is such an interesting synopsis, and this is set in the pre-DNA years, which means there's a lot of corruption that could have happened in this, and it's from personal experience, so I'm really excited to read it. The next prompt is booktuber recommend. So this means that I will be going on to any booktubers page that I follow and look at things, at books that they recommend, particularly recent recommends video, and then I'll be choosing a book from there, hopefully that I own. I don't really want to purchase, so hopefully they include books that I already own. I tend to have quite a few books that most people own just because of how I receive things, but sometimes I don't, and if that is the case, I'll probably just jump on to the next one unless there's a book in that recommends video that I really want to read. Then I'll go out and purchase it. Because purple has shown up twice, if it does show up another like a third time, I will be forced to do another spin for the month, which means an extra read for me. Okay, so it landed on Treat Yourself. As I mentioned earlier, it just means that I get to buy a book and read it in the same month. So there is a book that I would really like to buy, and it's The Night Circus. I already own it, but this is the hardcover and I've been really meaning to reread it. So I'll be getting that hopefully before the end of the month, and I'll be reading it as well during this month. I'm so excited. So I'll pop a picture here. It is the edition that matches the Starless Sea. This is the last spin for this month. I'm so happy. This actually is so much fun. The next prompt is Holly's Choice. So if this comes up, I will grab a couple of books that I've been meaning to read, put them on the floor. I think 3 works best. Put a treat on each of them and see which one she goes for, and then that's the one I'll pick. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, cool. So the last prompt is favorite author. I have quite a few. Some of them are like Bridget Kemmerer, who I really love reading her contemps. I've not yet read her new fantasy series. I love J. Kristoff, which means this gives me the opportunity to do the following. I will finally be getting to Dark Dawn. I've been trying to get to it for months now, and every time I think about picking it up, I kind of go, I get like a little bit like, do I want it to end? But now this means I have to read it and finish the series off. Just to go over the books that were picked, I have The Wicked King by Holly Black, The Chosen, the first book in the Contender series by Taran Mataru, Corrupt Bodies, Death and Dirty Dealings in a London Morgue by Peter Everett, and Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. These are the 4 books I'll hope to finish before the end of the month, and these are the books that came up with the different prompts. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. Once again, I have 2 saves, so if I don't end up reading 2 of these books, I get to save them both, but I'd have to read them in March. Otherwise, things are gonna go downhill quite quickly. So yes, thank you so much for joining me on this new and fun journey. If you have any suggestions, any commentary that is constructive, or you have any ideas, please let me know down below in the comment section. I am so excited for this new little thing. Once again, a huge shout out to Codie from Codie's Book Corner for inspiring and for doing this originally. This is originally her idea. I am essentially copying her, but all credit goes to her 100%. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so excited to see what books March brings along. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.